Hey everybody, we're going to go through a little AZT workout today. That's aerobic zone training. Ideally, we're going to try and keep our heart rate somewhere between that 70 and 80% of our maximum range. It's zone 2, the green zone. If you don't have a heart rate monitor with you, that's okay. You're going to try and work at a pace where you can maintain a conversation the whole time. So it's relatively easy, definitely not a high intensity workout. This is just part of our aerobic zone training, part of our conditioning system. So we're going to start today with a couple of special cars specific to our workout. And so what we're going to do here is we're actually going to get into the 90-90 position for these. This is my lovely assistant Ashley here. Hello. So for our special cars, we're going to do some knee cars from the 90-90 position. So I'm going to focus on my trail leg here. And I want you to lift your entire trail leg up off the floor. So if you have to lean over for that, that's okay. We don't want the movement to come from that lean. So wherever you place yourself, try and make that torso nice and still as you lift that whole leg. You should feel your side glute starting to squeeze. And I want you to extend that leg straight out and give me 5 slow circles in each direction. That side butt should be working super hard to do this. Hi, Rupert. 5 each way. Again, try and keep that leg as straight as you can. And then we'll get back into that 90-90 position. And while we're here, we're going to do some internal rotation eccentrics. So this is just going to help us have a little bit more space to use our hips here for this workout. So I want you to rotate all the way forward towards your front knee. And with that back leg, we're going to try and sweep our foot and our shin through the floor. So go ahead and press that back foot down into the floor. And as you're doing that, I want you to angle your torso back. So you're turning your torso and your pelvis towards that back leg. Once you can't turn any further, you can relax your push and reset. So you'll rotate forward, press your back foot down into the floor, and slowly turn back. As you're turning, you're working deeper into that position. We're going to do 5 reps here. 3, 2 more for me. These definitely don't need to be at a super high intensity. I'd keep it at like a 5 out of 10 on the effort scale. Push down and rotate back. That was 5 for me. I'm going to switch sides. The other side of my 90-90 position. And I'll start by lifting my leg, extending at the knee, and keeping my leg straight, then just drawing 5 small circles. Ideally, we feel this in the glute. 5 circles in each direction. Again, not fast. Control. We're trying to get into that end range and spend some time there. After your 5, you can get back into that 90-90. We're going to rotate all the way forward. Press that back foot down into the floor, and we're going to get 5 internal rotation eccentrics. So press down, rotate back. Once you hit that end range, you feel the biggest stretch, relax the push and reset. Press that foot down, rotate back, relax and reset. A total of 5 reps here. And one quick tip as we get to our last couple of reps here, try and not turn leading with your rib cage, but turn with your pelvis. Turn with that hip as much as you can. Try and get that pelvis to point towards your back heel. Once you've done your 5, we're going to go into a side lying position. So you're just going to angle your feet out in front of you and extend one or both arms if that's more comfortable. And we're just going to do a hip car here, but we're going to add a layer to our hip car. So I want you to bring your knee up towards your chest and then bring your leg straight out to the side so that your knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to hold this position. And before we finish this rep, we're going to do 10 hip capsule cars from this position. So knee up towards the ceiling, rotate your heel in and your heel out for 10 reps. And what we're going for is to keep that femur or your leg pointed up towards the ceiling and create as much rotation from the hip as you can. Really trying to limit the back rotation, the spine rotation, as well as any sort of movement from the femur. Once you've done your 10, you can finish through that hip car and just reverse all the way back and around. Then we'll switch sides. Start with that hip car, knee up towards the chest, leg straight out to the side, and then you're treating that femur like an axis, 10 rotations of the hip, really limiting as much spine compensation as you can get. You may notice a difference in range of motion from side to side. That's okay. This is kind of a diagnostic tool to see how much hip rotation you really can get. Definitely less on this side for me. What about you?
Yeah, they're both bad.
A couple more. I'm gonna finish all the way through with my hip car. Up. And through. Awesome. So if you've gotten this far, awesome. I should have mentioned this earlier, but if you didn't do your full CARS routine just yet, or you haven't done just a quick body temp warm up, pause this video and go do that stuff. There's a video at the top of this course that goes through the coached CARS routine. So if you're unfamiliar, go along with that video, do the coached CARS routine. It's super important just to move each individual piece before we get going. So if you have to, pause this video and go do that. Otherwise, let's talk about our workout today. It's going to be 3 stations. Each station is going to be about 10 minutes long. I'll read you off the list of movements that we're going to go through. So if anything sparks in your brain right out of the gate, try and think of a modification. But as we're doing the workout, I'm going to be listing off modifications for you guys. So for station 1, we're going to go through lunges, mountain climbers, let me try and read here, reverse planks, good mornings, push-ups, and plank walkouts. Again, we'll run through all that stuff during the workout, but I just want to give you guys an idea of what we're doing. We'll cycle through that for 10 minutes as many times as we can, maintaining our heart rate in that specific heart rate zone. Station 2, we'll go through some squats, some side-to-side jumping, lateral hops. We'll do some side plank raises or isometrics, some kneeling hip extensions, which many of us may not be familiar with, and some burpees. Woohoo! Slurpees, AZT burpees. And then finally, we'll finish with station 3, toe taps, hollow rocks, single leg glute bridges, back extensions, swimmers, and speed skater squats. Again, a lot of stuff to take on right now. I'm going to talk through every single progression and all the options for those progressions. So when you're ready, I'm going to have a timer set up for us, and we'll get going on some AZT. Got about 30 seconds here. I'm giving us a 30-second buffer just so we can talk through this workout. So for station 1, we're going to start with 10 lunges on each leg, straight into 20 mountain climbers on each leg, reverse planks for 30 seconds, good mornings for 10 reps of good mornings, push-ups for 5 to 10 reps, and plank walkouts for 5. I'll talk through all that stuff. Starting with lunges, 10 on each leg. I'm going to do the reverse lunge, so I'm actually going to face this wall over here, and I'm going to step back. Big deep breath. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And go. Step back and up. And I'm just going to alternate legs for me. I like this one a little bit better. And as I'm stepping, I'm reaching my foot straight back. So I'm not walking a tightrope. I'm kind of reaching back and out to the side so I can maintain my balance. And Ashley's definitely going to count for me because I can't talk and count at the same time.
How many on each side?
10. 10 on each side.
9, 10.
Awesome. Next up, we're going to go straight into mountain climbers. So it's going to be a straight arm plank. If you can't handle this much on your wrists, you can go down onto your elbows. We're going to do 20 on each leg. Yep, 20 on each leg. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Knee up towards the chest, and then put it right back where you got it. Trying to stay hollow on this. Total, 20 on each leg. So 40 total. Trying to shortcut the workout. I think that's 20. The reverse plank is next. If you haven't done a reverse plank before, these are pretty spicy on the shoulders. They require some shoulder extension. You're going to sit in a pike position. You're going to bring your hands behind your hips, fingers pointed out to the side. Pull your shoulder blades back and lift the hips. We're going to hold for 30 seconds here. Squeezing the abs and squeezing the butt. Go ahead and look up straight towards the ceiling. If you want more spice, drive the heels into the floor. If you need an easier progression, you can just bend the knees and go into a tabletop position. We got 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down and right into good mornings. For good morning, we're just going for a really simple hip hinge. So I want your feet underneath your hips. From here, just driving the hips back, keeping the back nice and flat, and then stand back up. Again, finding hamstring tension each time. 2 more. Right into some push-ups. So for our push-up variation, you can go straight arm plank, and you can stay off your knees that whole time if you want to go chest down to the floor and back up. If you can't maintain that for 10 reps, I want you as many as you can in this position, and then default down to the knees and crank out some reps as well. If you are still working on your push-ups, that's okay. Try and find a progression that can be on the ground, can be on the couch, or we're just going to crank out at least 5 reps. Once you've done your 5, we're going to plank walkouts. So this is kind of the blend of an inchworm and a plank hold. So we're going to go down onto our elbows, and we're going to extend both arms until they're straight, and then bend them back down. So we're reaching our arms out in front of us, holding that extended position, and then back down. We're going to do 5 reps. Very nice. Woo! Those are hard. Back to the top, lunges. 10 reps on each leg. If you'd rather do forward lunges or walking lunges, that's totally cool too. If lunges are not your friend, they tend to bother your knees, we can work with that. Let's find a depth that feels appropriate for that much knee bend. I also find if you get pain on the front of your knee, that doing reverse lunges seems to be a little bit more comfortable than the forward lunge. Again, if you do your kneecap cars beforehand, that's always a good indicator of potential joint deficits. 10 for me. Back to mountain climbers. 20 reps on each leg. Arms nice and straight. Bring those knees up towards the chest. 2, 3. 5 more. 20. Whew. Good mornings. What was that?
It was my office door. The wind.
About 5 minutes through this first station. Keep on breathing. Hi, Goose. The whole family's here today. I think that's 10. Onto our push-ups. Oh, reverse plank. I misspoke.
Oh.
I knew I forgot something. Mountain climbers. Yeah, we skipped our reverse plank. My bad, everybody. Reverse plank, hands behind the hips. Big glute squeeze, lift and hold. Really squeeze those shoulder blades together. It's going to burn those triceps up. Butt squeezed, abs tight, we're halfway. Again, plank position. Don't let things wobble around too much. Last 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Back down. We did our good mornings. We did our mountain climbers. Now onto our push-ups. My bad, everybody. Again, 5 to 10 reps, whatever you got, at whatever progression you can maintain. If this pace is too quick for you, that's okay. Hang back, breathe. Again, ideally we're able to have a conversation this whole time, so I shouldn't be huffing and puffing too hard, at least. All right, our favorite, the plank walkout. Get in that plank position. Hands are out in front, and then you just extend that arm and extend the other. You'll end up in the inchworm position, and then back down. Oh, this is terrible on this rug. Our rug's very slippery on the floor. Good job. All right, back to the top. We got about 2.5 minutes left. We're gonna try and get as far through this list in order as possible. 10 reps on each leg. Halfway. $19, $20. What's next? Mountain climbers. Whew. Couple of deep breaths. No huffing and puffing. Here we go. 20 reps of these mountain climbers. $18, $19, $20. Reverse plank, thanks. 3, 2, reverse plank, 1, and go. Last one, good job everybody. Breathe, keep that butt tight, abs nice and tight as well. Shoulder blades together that whole time. 10 seconds. Drive those heels into the floor, keep the legs straight. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 60 seconds. Keeping our heart rate in the green. We're going to cruise through some good mornings. Big hip hinge. Push-ups. Again, 5 to 10 reps. All right, last 10 seconds. You can crush a couple of plank walkouts if you like. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Good job. We're gonna go straight into our next section here. Just click start again. Thank you. All right, for our next section, we're gonna go through squats, lateral hops, single leg or double leg, a side plank hold, and kneeling hip extensions and burpees. So it's a few different things. Let's start with our squat though, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll wait for that 10-minute clock to start. We got about 5 more seconds. Feet just outside your hips, toes angled outward, not super far out. Just a little deviation from straight ahead. Hips sink down. Ideally, we're shooting for the best quality squat we can get. So for you that's here, that is okay. What we're looking for is driving tension into the hips. So if you get to this point in your squat and then your back starts to round, we don't necessarily want to load that stuff. Even if it's just with our body weight. Try and get into a range of motion. It's the best quality of squat. It's going to be different for everybody. We're doing 15 reps here. Sorry, I lied. $15-ish for me. We're going to do some lateral hops next. 15 each way. You can go double leg jump and rebound, or you can go single leg. I'm going to step back here. We're We're doing, how many did I say, 10 or 15? 15 each way. No. Don't have a jute rug as you're doing this workout. Ooh, look at this unison here. I like this. I think that's 15. Certainly feels like 15. We're gonna go straight into some side plank raises or a side plank hold. So, we have a couple of options here. You can go both arms straight, or you can go down onto your elbow, like Ashley's demonstrating. You can either hold this position for 30 seconds, or you can dip your hips down, opening this side up, and then lifting these hips up, crunching on that side. If you want to do the raises, we're going to do 10 on each side. And then switch. Woo, spicy. Next up we have kneeling hip extensions. Nice. For these, we're gonna tuck our toes, or at least get our feet into a position that feels good on our toes. So if you have plantar fasciitis or something hurts on your toes, keep them pointed, otherwise you can tuck them. Now we're gonna move into hip extension. So I want you to squeeze your butt, drive your hips forward, and tuck your pelvis. Holding that position, then you're gonna lean back and then back forward. Just 5 easy reps. Keep that butt squeezed this whole time, only going as far back as you can control. These are pretty gnarly, so go slow, especially if you've never done these before. 5 reps, and then right into burpees. Chest all the way to the floor. Just practicing some up downs. Chest all the way to the floor. You can push yourself up and then bridge the hips, jumping the feet up. You don't have to jump at the top or clap. Just a good opportunity to practice getting up and down off the floor. That can look like a million different ways. You can do step-ups from this position. 5 total reps. Then we'll go back to our air squats. She's doing extra credit. That was 6 for sure. Let's do some air squats. 15 reps here. Back to the top. It's pretty common for those burpees to spike our heart rate up, so adjust your pace for the rest of this workout if you need to. Maybe this first few reps of squats are a little bit slower than the previous. After your 15, going into those side plank, lateral hops, our favorite. You can go single leg again or double leg, whatever works best. I'm gonna go single, 15 each way. Rupert doesn't like this one. 15. 15. $30. 15 on each side. Back into those side plank raises. 10 on each side, or an isometric hold. So you can just hold this position again on your elbow or with a straight arm. After you've done your 10, switch sides. Try and keep that chest square to the wall in front of you. A couple of deep breaths. Whew, those are crushing. Kneeling hip extensions are next. Tuck those toes. Again, working into a range that you have active control over. So don't slam into the back, into the bottom position. Go slow. Control that descent as far as you can. If you want a little extra counterbalance, you can go arms out in front of you. If this bothers your toes, point the feet. And then go through. Treat this like a plank with your upper body as well. All right, 5 Slurpees. Slow AZT burpees right here. Chest to the floor. Really breathe your way through these. Just like that. Back to the top.
5, yeah.
That was 5. She's doing 6 again. Hardcore. All right, last 3 minutes here. Woo! Sweating. 15 reps of our squat. Again, only going to a depth where you can guide tension into the hips. So if your back starts to round, or your knees start to cave in, or just looks terrible, doesn't feel very good, no need to go that low. Training for quality movement for this AZT here. Lateral hops. Back to it. Last 2 minutes of this station. Really helps that we're in unison for this. Sweet. Side plank raises, 10 reps. I'm gonna do a hold this time. Just a 30-second hold on each side. I'm really crunching my rib cage down towards my hips. I'll switch when Ashley's done with her 10. Keep squeezing, keep that torso square. Try not to turn over. Crunch that whole side. Switching now. Big deep breath. And brace. Squeeze, try and drive that shoulder, that arm down into the floor. Good job. Woo! Last 60 seconds. We'll just finish out this round. Keep a nice even 3 rounds. Unless you're ahead of us, in which case keep on working. Kneeling hip extensions, 5 reps. Tuck those toes if you can, otherwise point them. Butt is tight, abs are tight. Slow controlled descent on this one. And 5. All right, straight into those burpees. Last 10 seconds of our workout. At this station. Woo! Switch, alarm's gonna go off. Thank you. Okay, station 3. Keep it up, we're doing great. We're gonna do toe taps for 20 reps on each side, hollow rocks for 15, single leg glute bridges for 15, back extensions for 10, swimmers for 5, and a speed skater squat, which we haven't gone through yet. This one should be pretty spicy. Let's start with our toe taps. For this one, you're not gonna need much. All you're gonna do is basically like almost like you're jump roping. So just picking up 1 foot at a time. A couple of deep breaths, make sure our heart rate's in that correct zone. Last 10 minutes of the day here, folks. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 20 toe taps. $16, $17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. Straight into our, I already forgot. Ooh, hollow rocks. This will be a good one. I'm actually going to use Ash as a demonstration for this one. So, abs are going to be super tight. She's going to start in a tucked position. And now the lift off for this, the way that you start the rock is by, thank you, is by lifting the hips up first. So she's going to press her hands into the floor and try and lift her hips up towards the ceiling, and then let go with her hand, and that's how you start the rock. She's just keeping no slack between hip lift and the rock forward. We're going to do 15 reps. Rib cage and hips are super tight this whole time, staying really, really solid. If you want to make this more challenging, extend those legs. Try and bring them closer to the floor. Closer to the floor. There we go. If you want to make it even more challenging, arms overhead. I'm just kidding. After your 15 hollow rocks, we're going on to 15 single leg glute bridges. So for this one, we're going to lay back. One leg will be straight out. We want to keep our femurs in line with each other. We're going to drive through that opposite heel, squeezing the butt at the top of each rep. If you feel this in your hamstrings, you may have to extend your leg a little bit. Big butt squeeze each time. Abs are staying hollow. Not the low back doing this one. Then switch to the other side. Five more. Whew. Back extensions. We're going to lay down on our stomach for this one. And for this one, I'm going to bring my elbows down by my hips, pull them down. I'm going to lift my chest up, trying to pull my sternum up parallel to the wall in front of me, and then set everything back down. 10 reps here. Glutes stay tight. Trying to pull as much through your rib cage as you can. If you need to keep your hands on the ground for assistance, that's totally cool. Just try not to push up with them if possible. As much of a spine lift as you can. 10 reps there. We're going straight into swimmers. For our swimmers, we're going to start with both hands behind our head. Lift those elbows as high as you can. I'm just going to demonstrate on one arm here. I want you to lift those elbows as high as you can. Extend your arms, palm faces the ground. And then you're going to rotate all the way back so your palm is up towards the ceiling. Hands behind you, then hinge at the elbow again. Hands stay off the low back and repeat. Extend. Rotate all the way forward and hinge. That's one. We're going to do 5. Again, this whole time you're thinking, lifting that hand as far away from the floor as possible. And 5. Onto our speed skater squats. So this is a variation of a single leg squat. This one's really tough. We're going to run kind of the gamut on progressions here. So ideally what we're going for is with one leg, we drop back. I'll show you from this way actually. We drop our foot back and we just touch our knee down to the floor. Our opposite foot stays off the ground and then we stand back up. Again, these are really, really tough. There's a pretty heavy mobility prerequisite to them. If you need to, you can do a curtsy squat instead, which all you're going to do is that same motion, just step that leg behind you and back. So you're still loading that front leg way more than your back leg. It's either that single leg speed skater squat or a curtsy squat instead. 5 reps on each side. There you go. And on those curtsy squats, you're really reaching that foot back behind the other side. Good job. Way to go, Ash. Just 5 on each side. And then we're going on to the toe taps back to the top. You and your extra credit. 20 reps. 1. Like we're playing hacky sack.
Yeah, I got a hacky sack. So good.
didn't count. Hollow rocks. I'll do some this time. Again, start nice and tight with the legs in, lift, and then rock. Keeping that low back around. Try and tuck your pelvis. If you want more challenge, just extend everything. We're doing 15 reps, no lag. So there's no kick and then rock. Everything's one big unit. You're a boat. $15. Single leg glute bridges. You're going to stay on your back. Extend that hip each time. Focusing on that butt squeeze. I picked the creakiest spot on my floor to do these. Switch. Back extensions. Gotcha. Laying down flat on your stomach. Big deep breath. Fill that abdomen with air, and then lift from the chin, down and up. 10 reps. And then onto our swimmers. 5 reps of our swimmers. I'm gonna sit on these ones because they aggravate my shoulder. I know. So for this one, Ashley's gonna go hands behind the head, elbows are nice up, nice and high that whole time. Extend. Then she's gonna internally rotate, that's palms up towards the ceiling, and then hinge again. Just hovering those hands above the low back, all the way up and around. Very nice. And the whole time she's just chanting in her head, elbows up, elbows up. Good job. Externally rotating. Right there, just pin those elbows. Good job. All the way back. Doing great. If this progression is too intense, you could do these in an upright position. Might be a little bit more mild. After your 5 reps, we're going back to our speed skater squats. We got about 2 minutes left at this station, so we'll get through as much as we can. Again, on your speed skater squat. Just trying to limit the back leg touching the floor. It's just the knee if possible. Otherwise, you're just doing a curtsy squat. Ugh. Whew. My hamstring's losing it. All right, last minute. Let's go back to the top. Leading with our toe taps. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Hollow rocks. Woohoo! Get some go ab work in. Big crunch and rock. "30 seconds left. I'm going to switch to the back extensions because there's no way I'm going to get 15 single leg glute bridges done in 30 seconds. So I'm going to switch to my last 10 reps of the day and do some back extensions, lifting the chest. If you want to stay in order, you can absolutely do the single leg glute bridges. Whew. Good job, everybody. Let's take a couple of deep breaths. You made it. A couple of deep breaths. Let's try and bring our heart rate back down and slowly recover from this workout. This cool down is just as important as our warm up. We want to make sure that we're recovering from the workout. Maybe not as important during an AZT, but super important on a high intensity workout like a VO2 max or a threshold zone training. To cool down, let's just do a couple of nice easy spine cars. Arms are gonna go over the chest. I want you to crunch forward and round as much as you can. And then stay forward, but slowly tilt your pelvis forward. Lift your rib cage up. Move all the way into extension. And then repeat, tuck the chin, crunch. Trying to round each individual piece of your spine, segment. Try and keep your rib cage in that extension, and then just tuck the chin, pull the chin back, tuck the chin. Should feel a stretch travel down your neck, and slowly just move into flexion. The pelvis is the last thing to move on the way down, and the first thing to move on the way back up. Let's do one more rep. Very nice. We're gonna get into a figure 4 position next. We're just gonna do a little kinetic stretching here. So this is gonna help lengthen our hamstrings post-workout. I want you to squeeze your quad and try and lift your leg, lifting as you're leaning forward. This is super hard. I made it seem really easy. This is a really tough one. Lift that leg up and lean forward, trying to keep your back as flat as you can. As you're squeezing that quad, you'll very quickly feel that hamstring stretch. Hold that big stretch, and now press your heel down into the floor. As you're pressing that heel down into the floor, slowly lean back. Let's do that 2 more times. Lift that leg up, squeezing your quad, lean forward, drive that heel down into the floor, and slowly lean back. One last one. Squeeze that quad, lift the leg, lean forward, press that foot down, and lean back. Switch sides. Continue to get that deep breathing in. Squeeze that quad nice and tight. Lift the chest up and lean forward. Press that heel down into the floor and lean back. 2 more. Lift up, lean forward. Press that heel down. Drive it into the floor as you're leaning back. Last one. We're going to finish with some shoulder capsule cars. You're just going to bring both arms straight out to the side. I want you to turn your elbows down towards the floor. So you're just internally rotating, getting them as far forward as you can. And then externally rotate by bringing them all the way back as far as you can. So again, shoulder rotation, forward and backward rolling of that shoulder joint. Once you've done about 10, we're all done. Well done, everybody. I appreciate you working out with us. Rupert, what do you guys? That's it. If you need a little bit more of a cool down, check out our Kin Stretch classes. Otherwise, I will see you guys next Monday for some more AZT. Again, I appreciate it. Good job.